On the Christian question. What is a Christian? To me, a Christian is the woman modest in her faith and fierce in her empathy, who recognizes the Sabbath alongside the reign of the mild. Her values exude the golden rule. She loves every individual member of her family and grows alongside them. She is passive to a fault, with everyone except her sons, husband, and father. She is clever and understands the uplifting nature of knowledge. Her faith is for her family and God alone, letting actions promote louder than any ancient proverb. She believes she will see everyone she loves in heaven and has reasons to wave Old Testament tradition prepared for Saint Peter. When she sees him, she will be as convincing as she is earnest. Over the years, too much energy has been wasted arguing over the exact beliefs of the framers of the American Constitution, even more spent trying to convince everyone their congregation has the purest and most Murican translation. Violent and destructive affairs, endlessly propagandized myth-making and personal bias has created an environment inhabited by a million red herring, that leave both the informed and indoctrinated confused. Unfamiliar nomenclature like Unitarian and Deist, baffle the average Protestant capable of biblical recitation, and have become silently folded into contemporary agnosticism. What we can divine from the framing documents, the framers' personal writings and the resulting public debates was the overwhelming desire for administrative, bureaucratic, and public affairs to remain secular and based in empirical fact. The only definite consensus was of that they could taste, see, hear, and alter. Their actions in the revolution reflected those of men who wished to better the material circumstances of those they considered American. To the framers, religion served as a broadly adopted and familiar set of morals for local preachers and priests to deliver to an uneducated population. Community infrastructure and prior indoctrination, if only by second-hand contact, acted as an effective rallying point for colonial troops, and a library or schoolhouse for the surrounding area. For remote populations, with minimal lines of contact through rugged, unbridged terrain, the Bible and Ten Commandments consolidated a moral code that needed no town crier. The impossible task of traversing the countryside for every statutory update board and underqualified Yanks in the Northeast were prone to undertake, was an entire industrialization phase away from possibility, let alone within the framers' comprehension. As is always the case, attempting to discern how traditional figures would have acted outside their time is a fool's errand, or more often a cynical deflection, designed to build an impenetrable barrier of comfortable nostalgia, within a status quo that fails to serve its parishioners. The only thing you must understand about Americans and their most beloved religion, is that the people are stupid, prone to fantastical ideation and main character syndrome, no matter how heretical in nature a delusion may become. Southern, fire and brimstone preachers, clutch their pulpit and roar of disasters, disease, and death beyond their God's embrace, knowing children weep in their bed after demons haunt their dreams and angels belittle their character. A cohort of televangelists have hypnotized an illiterate population into the belief that tithing is the most holy work. Scripture is obligated to repay the sacrifice tenfold in happiness, divinity, and wealth, an unparalleled act of religious deception, millionaires convincing poor folk, their last 2 silver pieces are a divine investment with guaranteed worldly returns. Politicians utilize a bully pulpit to denigrate whatever outgroup is most easily scapegoated in the holy culture wars they understand only enough to secure power and treasure. Issuing moral edicts with righteous authority, only to have a hand in the most egregious and blasphemous acts, too numerous to be retold. Religion was understood to be the most powerful form of propaganda humans had conceived of, an idea I was not unfamiliar with as a young Catholic. The religious snake oil salesman will avoid this simple truth while consciously manipulating the mechanisms of religion that break down rationality inside one's mind, consensus within community, mystified allegory framed as self-evident truth and a monarch capable of infinite love, or hatred of one's enemies. The most convincing gods are narcissists. They victimize the gullible and attrit opposition with millennia-arcing crusades. Most of those embroiled in spiritual warfare never totally comprehend their field of battle. Empires can be born, flourish, and fall, God will still be there ready and willing to evangelize billions more, and again be lost to time as did the religions of Mesopotamia, and those that came before. Society must have a rational approach to the role of organized religion. Organized religion is a business that services the hearts and minds of its parishioners. Organized religion is inherently meritocratic, in the sense that the most fantastic, often can create the strongest connection, and begin to influence one's perception of reality. Contorting simple sensory perception and our collective experience into that of the obscene, traitorous, and deceitful, rendering doctors, scientists, and teachers as the agents of evil. Time and time again we can see the cycle play out in history, to varying degrees of effect, yet all with outcomes that rhyme. A civilization's inability to incorporate the constraints of our observed physical reality within its ethos is an indication of certain failure, all the same as a society's inability to manage internal opposing belief systems within a democratic political framework. Churches that peddle in Christian nationalism must be taxed the same as a church who accepts tithes to maintain the house that shelters a community seeking a pro-social lifestyle, must be taxed the same as social media platforms supplying ad serves on a curated algorithm, the same as a doctor's income is taxed for providing life-saving emergency care. There is no heathens playing footsie with biblically accurate angels and expecting to survive, much the same as there is no amount of tinkering that can create conformity in contradiction to observable fact. Unfortunately, there is no easy answer to the Christian question that can be delivered by an honest messenger. The instinct of the powerful to codify thought crime must be rejected in the exact fashion a humanist would reject bad data. Universal healthcare will often only be seen as the mark of the beast, and every outreach program would be designated globalist propaganda, yet all there is to try. Try to educate, coexist, and make our future better with the collective effort of the empathetic. The path to enlightenment has already been laid out for us. We have surpassed broad technological barriers, peered billions of light years past our atmosphere and recorded the beauty and spectacle of life to the finest of detail. We have grown and fallen, just to reach beyond previous limitations. Many of us already live the ideals of the modern, enlightened humanist, with empathy and compassion towards all natural life on our planet Earth. Now, we must only be strong enough to recognize it, and brave enough to step forward and implement our Enlightenment's teachings, together. The humanist's authority is born of their reliability. A stoicism capable of staring into the abyss with a firm footing upon our Mother Earth. A gentle kindness with the agitated. Always with eyes forward, intently staring into the starry night with childlike wonder at the majesty of life. Confidence that can only be acquired through repetition. A humanist is always correct, but only because of those that came before who built a foundation of empirical science and societal progress which taught them. The humanist rejects knowledge whose source asks it be inferred, assumed, or divined from the words and actions of unobservable origins. There is no God of peasants or kings that cannot be interrogated. The humanist understands that the defense of earthly life is of central importance and must be vigorously and tirelessly attended to.